Well, that was silly. Yeah, not quite enough clearance. Right, let's readjust a few things. There we go. That should clear the job. Somewhere near straight now. Can't remember what that angle was for. I'm sure I will remember when I come to need it again. I left it on there for a reason. As close to straight as we can, because this is actually on backwards. It's the only way you can reach across the boring bar to bore small holes. So the marks that tell you that you're in line with this scale are on this side at the moment. Near enough though. It'll do for this operation. Okay, some progress, some cock-ups, but you know, we'll just keep moving forward. We're getting somewhere. Made a little spacer and adapter. That's now nicely bolted onto here. I threaded the back of these, put 6mm thread inserts in. So if you see, there's two countersunk bolts on the alley spacer, and then two through here. I'll make another two holes sort of in between these just to finish securing that plate. Spent quite a long time making a nice little interference fit on there, just a light interference fit, and that was a complete waste of time because it's the wrong size. Because I've had to change things, or change the plans for the basket. So that spacing now needs to be, well, I can't remember the number, but needs to be a fair chunk deeper, maybe 1/4 inch actually, because it's, yeah, this is all changed, or what I'm going to do is changed. I was initially going to mount it to the sprocket with the bearing in on these pre-existing holes around the outer, just pick a few of them up, but that wasn't going to work. So we've now got these 5 holes here. I've put thread inserts in them, not bothered countersinking them. I wanted as much meat as I could actually on the thread because this is quite thin. If I need to, I'll machine them back. got to machine the insides off. But the plan was when I was going to use these outer holes to machine a recess for this part, the holder for the bearings. You've got little rivets up here in this plate. But if I machine something big enough for them to sit in now, we're going to be right on the edge of those threads. So I think we're going to make another one of these, because this we're going to sandwich it all together. Sort of like that. So I think we're going to have to make a second one of these sit on the inside, and then pop that on. Second one on the outer, and that'll all sit over this bit. And then we do need to make another plate as well to sit over the back of this, just to stop this falling off the back. Stop everything ended up in a nice big messy heap in the bottom of my primary casing and yeah, turn into grinding paste. We've got a nice little bit of alley here. This was yeah, what was it? It was a wheel spacer for a car. For a sidecar I was making, I had to buy two. Obviously only needed one. It's a great big lump of alley that was no use for anything because it was covered in sodding holes. So I've gradually been turning it down to use as a mandrel. Its current size should be, yeah, just for lining that little lot up and drilling those holes. Right, so we've got to make that piece again, but we're not going to do that yet. We want some better measurements first, so we need to get this bit sorted out, see what we're doing and where we're going. Right, don't know how far we'll get in this video, but I think it'll be a while before we get back on this again, because hopefully next week we'll have some bits for the Motor Guzzi here. I've only been waiting 6 or 7 weeks since I ordered them, but I have been told they'll be here next week, so we'll be able to get on with that a little bit. So yeah, this might end up getting shelved. Right, let's go turn some more aluminium into chips. No. Okay, let's get on. Okay, oil change on the setup now. So it's just currently like that. It's only just in those jaws. Can't get it true either because the inserts are holding it off in a couple of places. If I pull it forward enough for it to be nice and true, it's not going to stay in there. And the more I cut, the more it's trying to pull it out of line because it's not holding well. But the whole point of this is these inserts, turn these inserts back, and I've turned them down enough now so we can take this out, turn the jaws around, put it back in on the centre, and have a bit of room for the boring bar. So yeah, all in all, we're going to have about an hour and a half of setup in swapping tools around and doing this and that for about 5 minutes of cutting. Hour's a bit of an exaggeration, but you know, you can't exaggerate every now and then. Oh dear. Plus, you know, it's part of the job, or part of the hobby, part of the job, depending on whether you're getting paid or not. You can't moan about it. Where's the joy? Oh, I don't know. Right. Finish my cup of tea. Turn that lot around. Do a bit more machining. the threads, cleaning up the threads. Not the threads need cleaning up, just need to take the bears off the end. Look, grizzly bears. There we go, a couple more. That was a bit of a sod to machine. Because this is a cast item, and from what I can see, except for the little bit of machining I've done for boring the centre out, it is just raw cast. So it is not flat, it's not true, it's not round, it's not anything. So I gave up trying to get that centred. Yeah. So as you'll see when I get this last one done, flip it out, can't hold on to my tools. So there we go, let's machine those inserts back. Should have given us clearance for the clutch hub now. Still a couple of little burrs need to come off. Well, I said it's a cast item, and which makes it a git to machine. Normally if you was making something out of cast, you'd have the raw casting, you'd machine a face, a side, whatever, just so you've got a reference and do everything else off there. This ain't got enough meat in to machine anything off, so you've just got to sort of go with what you've got. And because it's so thin, as you clamp it down, it does flex a little bit, so you need to be careful not to break it. But anyway, they're in. I think I'm going to leave them proud on the back. I don't think it matters that much at this point. I might change my mind, we'll find out. Yeah, changed my mind. Feed very slowly as an interrupted cut. So there's only 5 tiny points all the way around this that we're actually cutting on. And those points are hollow. So we've not got the carbide in, we've got high speed steel bit in, just because it deals with interrupted cuts a little bit better. Just that little bit more flexible. And you can hear it ticking away there as I get each one. This could be a terrible idea, it could all go horribly wrong. Right, because of the design of this casting, I can only actually get a really light grip on it in the lathe. Because we're holding on these, and these will just snap if I put much pressure on them. So when we got it dialed in, I wasn't too fussed about it being in line sort of this way around. It was more front to back, because of course we're facing this. Now I got it, and I said you can't get it perfect because it's a cast surface, but I got it within sort of 2-3 thou, and I was happy with that. But this thing has just moved while I've been facing. Look how far out that is. So this is a metric indicator, so each of the numbers is 0.1 of a millimetre. Look at that. Yeah, that's gained quite a bit of run out. Right, I'll see about getting it trued up again. I'll have another little go, and if that doesn't work, we'll just resort to filing them. But you know, see how it goes. Okay, so I couldn't get that set in the lathe how I wanted, so I've just ground these back rather than machining them, just to get them as flush as I can. So I've got a little retainer on the back. For the minute I've just used the old bits of cork that I took out as cushions in those. That's on there, so that's about how that's going to be. I opted against putting a spacer on the inside simply because if I make this much bigger, that spline is going to be sat way too far back in there. Now I can machine a little bit off here, but I'm going to struggle to get a nut on the thread. So apart from that, we're not far off now. I need to make a a plate to retain the bearing on here. Of course, now I've messed about fettling and bits, and I've not put that spacer in. That's about sat where it needs to be. Put a few things down. So yeah, if I make a plate that just sits around here, just to stop this falling off the back. Don't have to be huge, just a bit of a lip on it. That'll do for that bit. Like I said, I'll have to either machine this back or make another nut. I think it's about 1/2 inch, looks about 1/2 inch, not really measured it yet. And then we should be about there with it. Alright, let's pop it on and just see what it looks like. Yeah, just sort of sit like that. Obviously this is still loose at the minute because it hasn't got that little retainer. That's all the way home on the splines. Everything misses everything it's meant to miss, which is a bonus really. So yeah, I think we're well on the right path there. I think we're about out of time for today, so we'll call that quits and we'll carry on messing about with this another day. Yeah, I really should get some other stuff done. Right, yeah. For those of you still here, thank you very much for watching. And yeah, see you in the next one. Ta-da. Made some good noises there.